Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is the LFA Flyweight Champion, Mr. Vic Altamirano, who will be competing on this year's edition of Dana White's Contender Series, competing for that UFC contract. Vic, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Enjoying here the summer heat. Feeling great. How about you?
I can't complain. Over in England, we've got a bit of summer at the moment where we're getting some decent weather. I think in terms of degrees, I think we're hitting the 80 degrees in Fahrenheit. So that's as most as the British summer will get. But I can't complain. I want to talk straight. I want to get straight into it, man. Dana White's Contender Series. How are you feeling leading up to it?
Excited. I always feel really excited for a fight. And this, of course, is probably the biggest one of my career. This is the one that will catapult my career to even farther places. And I'm very excited. And with that excitement, of course, I have to double that with focus. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm feeling an excitement that has to be doubled match with focus. And so if anything, I would say I am ready and I love the process of getting ready. So I'm really enjoying it right now.
100%. It's been a couple of months since your last fight. I'm going to go into that. LFA, you won the title. How was that moment?
That was wonderful. It was a great moment. It's just a culmination of so much hard work on my behalf, on behalf of my team, on behalf of my coaches. It was a culmination of a lot of hard work. You know, not a lot of people get to see the hard work that it takes whenever they see great things like the World Cup being won or your favorite athlete winning a gold medal. You know, people don't get to see what it took to get there, you know, and just being able, I see that. I see when those things happen. And for the first time in my life, I got to experience the entire process of what it takes to reach the opportunity. And then I was lucky and fortunate enough to grasp such opportunity. So it was really great. It was a surreal experience, and I hope that everybody gets to experience something of that equivalent in their life.
100%, man. I know you fought Nate Smith, but that wasn't supposed to be the case. You were supposed to have another opponent, and it was a short notice replacement. Did that affect you leading into that fight, knowing that you've trained for somebody specifically and then somebody else's came and took their place?
No, it didn't really affect me for many reasons. One of the reasons was we were expecting a very aggressive grappler, and Nate Smith is an Olympian. So when that they told us about that, we were sure that that was going to be the case. That was.
Have we lost audio there again, man? Can you hear me, man? Hey, man, can you hear me now? Have we lost connection here, pal?
Oh, I can hear you kind of.
Pep, can you hear me now, man?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'll get the editor to cut that part out. So, yeah, we'll jump straight back into it. Yeah, so Vic, obviously the Contender Series as well now, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be the biggest opportunity, as I'm sure you will agree, that you've had in your career. Does that bring any added pressure to yourself?
It's always pressure. Yeah, it's always pressure. It does bring more pressure to myself, you know, because I'm at a point in my life where I really want this opportunity. I really want this opportunity to grow so that I can keep doing it. The only reason why I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I love is because it doesn't support me and my family financially. And if this opportunity is able to be grasped by myself, by me, if I'm able to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve with this opportunity, then I will be able to continue doing what I love, and it will feed me and my family. So it does add some pressure, but this pressure is not pressure pushing me down, but pressure just propelling me forward, propelling me up. It's pressure that I want to use to fuel me rather than to push me towards the ground. I wanted that pressure to just thrust me upwards towards where I need to be.
And what do you make of your opponent on the Contender series? Do you know much about him?
I know he has a very similar record than me.
And how do you think you're going to be able to take this guy out?
What's that?
How do you think you're going to be able to take this guy out in the cage?
I think I'm going to be using a lot of head movement. It is very important for me to become and stay very dynamic. I know he throws a lot of power shots. Power shots need a lot of time to wind up, and they need a lot of good timing to be precise. So if I'm able to continuously keep moving and have really good head work, it's going to be difficult for him to find power shots. Power shots need to be timed, and power shots need time to be timed. So as long as I keep my movement dynamic, my angles changed on a constant basis, and my head movement the right direction, I'll be able to avoid his main threat, which is his power.
100%. I wanted to ask about the UFC Flyweight division. Obviously, that will be the division that you'll compete in if you get the UFC contract. Recently, they've had a title change between Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno, and Brandon Moreno has recently took over as the king of the division. What did you make of Brandon's victory on that night?
Man, congrats to Brandon. Brandon, that was great. It was awesome. I think it was a really great executed fight. I know Brandon was hungry. He had come out of a defeat with the same person, and he wants to fight. And if I had anything to say about Mexico, is that fighters are born there. You see boxing, you see MMA. People don't back down. People are gonna step up, and very often you see fighters who you don't know if they're gonna win the rematch or not, especially because they lost and they may have something in their head. That's not the case. That was not the case with Brandon Moreno. He came there, he said, I was here to fight the first time, and I'm here to fight again, if not harder. I think it was great. It was a great display. I don't want to take anything from him. I don't think I'm far away from that level. I don't think I'm too far away from being able to take the title. And given this opportunity after the Contender series, if they want to give me the title shot, I will take it. I will take the title shot, and I will take it in short notice if need be.
100%, man. As a lot of fans know, with Brandon Moreno as well, his story is great. He was the last pick on The Ultimate Fighter. He ended up getting kicked out of the UFC due to not winning the fights. He ended up losing his contract, got back, got the title. Does that inspire you as well?
It does inspire me. It inspires me, and at the same time, it lets me know that all you need to do is work hard. You just need to work hard. It doesn't matter what endeavor you want to do in life. It doesn't matter how far away you are from the goal. You just have to be consistent, and you just have to work hard. Sometimes the people who make it are not the people who are the best, but they are the people who give the best of themselves and continue to do so without relenting of their goal. And those are the people who make it.
You mentioned there the goal, and obviously the goal is to be UFC champion. How long do you think it will be until you can achieve that goal?
If they give me that fight within next week, I think I can make it. I think that will depend on when they want to give me the title shot. If it's up to me, I will say I can do it tomorrow. I can do it next month. I think if I want to answer the question, when do I think I'm going to be able to become the UFC champion? I think that question will be answered to when are they going to give me the title shot? And that's when I'll become the UFC champion.
100%, man. I want to go back to the LFA days. Obviously, you competed on the first ever LFA card, and I'm sure looking back now, that's a great moment for you because I'm sure you competed on the LFA 100 card. How does it feel to be part of such a big organization? Because LFA are almost similar to Cage Warriors, I think, in a way, because they're almost a feeder promotion to the UFC.
Yeah, it's a great promotion, and I'm very fortunate to have been part of it, and I feel like it's just the best thing that could have ever happened to me, and it's the best thing that could happen to really any fighter in this industry. There are many promotions throughout the world, LFA being the number one feeder to the UFC. So if you make it to the LFA, it is a great opportunity to have. And I made it to the LFA right in the transition when it was still legacy. So I was lucky enough that it was based in Houston, here in Texas, and people know each other. The Dallas Fort Worth area in Texas has always been known for the martial arts, even in the 60s before MMA was a thing. So it's a very rich in culture when it comes to martial arts here in Texas. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to continue this career in the place that I chose to do it. It's probably the best place I could have picked to do it, and it was shown by the opportunities that I was given. Whether I deserved those opportunities or not at the beginning, I'm not sure, but whether I was lucky to have received them and whether I took advantage of them, I would say I did my best to do so.
100%, man. I wanted to ask this because I remember last time we spoke, we was talking whether you should be awarded the UFC contract outright, and I still believe that should have been the case. But nevertheless, you've got the opportunity on the Contender series. But do you believe after being the LFA Flyweight Champion, you should have got the automatic contract?
I think so. I think that anybody who achieves the LFA belt should get an automatic UFC contract. I just because of the caliber of fighters that the LFA has in the roster and the caliber of fighters that matchmakers are able to do, LFA does a great job at matchmaking and at breeding fighters to make them better to the point that I would say that if you're able to win a belt in the LFA, you should be able to get a straight contract to the UFC.
100%. I know we asked a similar question before on how long you think you could win the UFC title, but I'm going to ask a similar question. How, say in the top 15 ranking, what place would you put yourself within the rankings of the UFC? How do you see yourself ranking against these guys?
And the UFC right now?
Yes.
Right now. I would say I'm definitely in the top 20, if not the top. Most definitely. I feel like the LFA did a great job at setting me up with opponents that I had to prepare in such a way that I now know what it takes to be there in the next level. So, these people have been fighting. A lot of people from in the UFC roster have gotten there without the caliber of fighters that the LFA can give you. And like I said before, if you can achieve a belt in the LFA, you should have an automatic contract. Why? For this same reason. For the reason that in this roster, I would put myself in the top 20 or top 10 because the LFA does a great job at putting people against really good fighters. So I feel like I'm pretty up there. I would say so. I don't want to brag, but it's I've been working really hard. I really have.
100%, man. Before we end, can we get one final prediction on how this fight on August 31st is going to go?
August 1st?
August 31st, was it, or is it August 1st?
Oh, 31st. Yeah.
31st.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I don't really like to make predictions just because I get fixed. I don't like to get fixated on something. I like to keep my mind malleable and ready for anything so that I can adapt. But nonetheless, the fights are going to be exciting. Why? Because this guy, he's no chump. He's coming. He's flying here because he wants to fight, and he's against a big opportunity, just like myself. And there's no way that neither me nor him are not going to display the passion for the pursuit of what is a big dream. No one half-asses a win with an opportunity like that. So the only prediction I can make is it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a fight with passion, with heart, and it will not be boring.
100%, man. Just a couple more. Do you have any sponsors or shout outs you'd like to sign off with?
Oh, yes. I would like to give a shout out to Cryo Nation in South Lake for spotting me here with Cryo Nation, giving some cryotherapy. I pull about, man, a lot of training in the week, and Cryo Nation really helps me keep my inflammation down. It's like the equivalent of an ice bath, but it only lasts 3 minutes, and I'm out of there because I don't like the colds. So it's really, and IV bars for hooking me up whenever I need to replenish after a long workout. Sometimes I'm dehydrated and I need to replenish my vitamins, everything there. So shout out to Crowd Nation and the IV bars in South Lake. Thank you very much.
100%, man. And how can people find yourself on social media?
On social media, you can find me at Vic_Altamirano. So Vic_ALT. And that's it. That's an ad. And if you want to see me in person, just swing on by to Peak Performance Watauga here in Fort Worth. So if anybody's watching local to the DFW area, come check us out. We have amazing grapplers, and we would love to train with you.
100%, man. Vic, it's been a pleasure as always, and I've got no doubt next time I speak to you, we'll be talking to a newly UFC fighter.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mason.
Take care, man.
You too, bro. Have a good one.